Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Mountain Murders sometime this week. I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
We're back from a break.
Yeah, we had to get some stuff in order.
Circumstances. Sometimes circumstances happen.
It's true.
So we had some circumstances, but now we're back.
We're back in the best way.
But Dylan, I was thinking about this. We never really take a break from podcasting. It's rare if we take a week off. We've been doing this pretty much straight for over 5 years. And I say straight, meaning like every weekend we don't take a break.
We don't have seasons.
We don't have seasons like a lot of podcasts where you get a few episodes, but then you have to wait like 6 months to get new episodes.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to take a break once in a while.
Yeah, sometimes we have to take care of some stuff, but now we're all lined back up and we are back.
All right, Dylan, we have missed a lot of true crime news, and I cannot wait to discuss the latest with you.
I'm ready for it.
So this is not brand new. This is a week or so past its expiration date, but we must discuss Canadian serial killer Robert Pickton has died after being assaulted in prison.
Oh.
He was 74.
Oh, somebody done beat the old crazy killer man up.
Are you familiar with Robert Pickton?
I am not.
Well, he took female victims to a pig farm during his crime spree. And this was in the Vancouver area in the late 90s into the early 2000s. He is a notorious monster. I mean, this guy is known internationally. A 51-year-old inmate is now in custody for the assault on Pickton. Robert Willie Pickton was convicted of 6 counts of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison back in 2007 with the maximum parole ineligibility period of 25 years after being charged with the murders of 26 women.
My God.
Now, police began searching the Pickton farm in the Vancouver suburb of Port Coquitlam more than 22 years ago in what would be a years-long investigation into the disappearances of dozens of women from Vancouver's seediest streets. We're talking sex workers, drug users, people who live on the fringes of society.
Yeah, and that's typical communities, groups of people that are hunted, literally hunted by people like this. Now, with a count like that, 26 or so, this guy's a heavy hitter.
Well, the remains or DNA of 33 women were actually found on the Pickton farm. Pickton once bragged to an undercover officer that he'd killed a total of 49 women.
Jeez, there's not many more people that's killed more people than him.
That was very articulate. There's not many more people who've killed as many people as him.
Yeah, hey, Dylan's back.
Dylan is definitely back.
No, but I'm saying, honestly, if there's any truth to what he's saying, and we know that there's, dozens of people women he truly did kill, then he's up there with Sam Little as far as, someone who maybe killed
Well, again,
more.
he's like Canada's most notorious serial killer.
And I see why.
I can't believe you've never heard of this guy.
Now that you're talking about a pig farm, something's starting to shake loose in this old noggin of mine.
Well, during its trial, Dylan, it was alleged that Pickton strangled his victims and fed their remains to his pigs. Health officials once issued a tainted meat advisory to neighbors who might have bought pork from the Pickton farm. Many were concerned the meat might have contaminated human remains.
Oh my gosh.
Mixed in with the meat. They always say you don't want to know how the sausage is made.
No, you do not.
Anyway, he's a creep, and I don't think anybody's really sad that he's dead.
I'm glad he's dead.
Yeah, he's kind of a big shitbird.
He's a convicted murderer of dozens of women, and he tortured, and I'm sure it was horrific things he did to the victims. And I wish he had died sooner. I wish he had died before he killed his first victim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word.
Word.
I agree. So moving along, Dylan, the 60-year-old man suspected of killing 4 women, known as the Gilgo 4. We're talking about the Long Island serial killer. He has been charged with 2 additional counts of murder. And this is a very strange detail, Dylan. He's been keeping a Microsoft Word document that he used to methodically blueprint his plans.
Oh my gosh.
Suffolk County District Attorney announced earlier this week that his office filed a superseding indictment charging Rex Howerman with 2 counts of murder in the deaths of Sandra Costilla and Jessica Taylor. Howerman or Hewerman, I don't even know how you say his fucking name. I don't think it even matters. He's a piece of shit.
It's Shitbird.
Shitbird is already charged in the connection of Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, Amberlynn Costello's deaths. And these women were killed over the span of at least 17 years, 93 to 2010.
And that's a really big window, you know?
Yeah. I've seen some of this document, Dylan, and it's bizarre. He has things like supplies, like acid, rope, cord, foam, drain cleaner, body wash, body wipes, tarps, drop cloths, large electric clips. And then he has documents with columns that say pre-prep, prep, post-event. He had a specific document that had 4 columns, including problems, supplies, DS, which stood for dump site, and TRG, which investigators believe is a reference to target or victim.
So I wish I had some of this organization in my life. This is very methodical.
Yeah, well, again, you would be a very unsuccessful serial killer.
Oh, I could do it.
Because you're very disorganized and you have the attention span of a gnat.
See, all those things are true. But see that my chaos would be my MO, and they would not be able to ever catch me because they don't have any idea what I'm going to do next because I don't know.
That makes no sense.
That makes perfect sense in my head.
I'm arresting you now. For that bad joke.
Whoa. I'm a thought criminal.
No, you're a thought. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Your thoughts are not welcome here, Dylan. You should know that by now.
Wow.
All right, Dylan. So Harvey Weinstein's lawyers are arguing that he was denied a fair trial in appeal of the LA rape conviction.
Will somebody go ahead and shank his ass too?
Now, this appeal comes 6 weeks after Weinstein's 2020 New York convictions were overturned. His legal team is reportedly arguing that he didn't get a fair trial when he was sentenced to 16 years behind bars in February of 2023 after being found guilty of rape and sexual assault in Los Angeles. Now, according to multiple media outlets, lawyers for Weinstein filed an appeal on Friday, June 7th in California's 2nd District Court of Appeal requesting a new trial. The move comes less than 2 months after the disgraced media mogul's separate 2020 convictions in New York State were overturned, and those were for rape and sexual assault. I mean, where is the justice? You have these women who finally have the courage to come forward and just blow the story like wide open, right? And really sparked a movement.
Truly a movement,
right?
Yes.
I mean, this sort of is like the epitome of the Me Too movement, right?
Well, I mean, look how much stuff came out after this. You know what I mean? All the different people, predators that kind of came to light.
And he's a piece of shit, and he raped and assaulted all of these women, and now we're just going to overturn
because a T wasn't crossed?
Because he's a fucking old shit? I mean, what the hell?
Is that what they're leading with? Compassionate care bullshit?
Well, some of it, I think, has to do with like, oh, he's just old now and frail.
He has gangrene Peter.
Yes, he does have that. Anyway, it's really disgusting, and I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with this. But I just don't even see it. Like, where's the justice in this at all?
I mean, it doesn't surprise me one bit that there's some very rare, strange technicality popping up here for someone like Weinstein. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Someone that much money and stuff, the money gets to the right people. Who knows? Who knows if this is even above board? I don't trust it. And I know that you have to have fair trials and you have to always worry about the integrity of the system, which includes everyone in the system, or, then innocent people will get screwed if you don't, always fight for that. It's kind of like free speech. I might not agree with what you say, but I will fight for your right to say it. But it really pisses me off when this guy, he's truly a monster.
He's a monster. He's like Bill Cosby.
He is like Bill Cosby. Anytime you have these people in these positions of power like this, where they can ruin people, it's not like you just won't do this project with me. Someone like him had the clout and the connections to make sure you never work in Hollywood again above some Lifetime movie or some B movie somewhere. And that's really horrible thing to hold over people's head.
It's true.
I mean, look at the damn what was it, Dan Schneider stuff. The reason it was so insulated and that stuff didn't make it outside of Nickelodeon's, people were scared to death of being blackballed from the industry, and that's so shitty.
It's very shitty. I mean, look at the female writers who worked for Schneider.
Oh my God!
And there have been several actors. I say actors who've come forward. Having, said that Weinstein did actually blackball them and they had difficulty getting work.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and you can't repair those kinds of things, I mean,
right, Dylan. Are you ready to move along, or are you still thinking about Weinstein?
I'm not. Man, screw him. He don't get thought about by me.
Okay.
You son bitch. I hope you die.
Well, speaking of new true crime docuseries, Dylan, this one is going to be interesting. It follows a case that began in 2016. Hulu is set to make viewers jaw drop and get their pulses racing in a 3-part series that follows the bizarre story of Sherry Papini, who disappeared from Redding, California back in 2016 at 34 years old. The mother of 2 claimed, she was jogging on a highway and was kidnapped. It was a mess. Come to find out, she was lying. She was just shacked up with an ex-boyfriend.
She was down the road with an ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. So this series is called Perfect Wife: The Mysterious Disappearance of Sherry Papini, and it will retell her story. I kind of want to tune in.
I'll probably will tune in, and I heard like an in-depth pod. I can't remember who it was that did it on this case, and there's truly is a lot of ins and outs to it, but she's such an asshole for having done this. Not only her hurting her family and friends,
her husband, her children,
everyone worried to death about her. But here's the real problem: she dilutes. How do you say it? I always have a problem articulating this. For the real victims of kidnappings, rapes, and things like this, she is
trafficking.
She is with her lies. People will point to the Papini story the next time a real victim comes out.
Well, like that Netflix docu-series that was so popular a few months ago, The American Nightmare.
Yes.
Where the woman was actually taken,
yes.
And they did not believe her story or her boyfriend's story.
They didn't believe any of them. I was actually thinking about that just now.
Probably because of Papini.
I can't recall if Papini had it happened, kind of in a parallel to this. But yeah, so all they do is use this against real victims when the story, you might be like that girl who lied. And just, because they're always waiting to blame the victim in these situations. And it's just a really shitty thing she did.
Well, the elements of like fantasy and just plain manipulation in this case.
Yeah.
Wild.
I'm like, why don't you just leave?
Exactly.
Why'd you have to do all this? Just be like, I don't love you anymore. I'm going to go kick it with dude. You got to make up this Gone Girl story?
It's wild.
Oh, my God.
So she actually did serve some time in prison for lying to federal officer in mail fraud.
Yeah.
She was sentenced to 18 months, but ended up serving less than a year. And then her husband, Keith, filed for divorce soon after she pled guilty. So this should be premiering pretty soon, I think on the 20th of June.
Okay.
So really soon here in the next couple weeks or whatever. I can't wait to check it out. I feel like there's probably going to be more depth than what we get from just like news articles, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm here for the gossip and the drama.
The hot goss.
Because there's definitely going to be some in this. They're really going to dig deep, I think, and there'll be some revelations. I'm sure of it.
Some revelations.
Y'all's.
Okay, Dylan. This is really interesting. The LAPD recovered more than 2,800 boxes of stolen Lego toys from a 71-year-old man's home on Wednesday.
That's a lot of Legos.
So in a press release, The LAPD department shared that Richard Siegel and 39-year-old Blanca Gudino allegedly stole the toys, each with a retail value of $20 to well over $1,000 from stores across California. These Legos can get expensive real quick. Like, especially when you get into, like, the collectors.
Yeah.
Like, specialty sets.
Right.
Star Wars and that kind of thing.
Limited editions.
Yeah. And people, like, Lego collectors are serious. They're like sneakerheads or people who collect, you know, any kind of those, like, little toys, like the Star Wars collectors.
Or the Pogs for a second.
The Lego people.
But the Lego people, they've been doing it for a long time.
I had a friend, Donovan.
Okay.
He was a Lego collector.
So he would get a set. Would he even open them, or did it depend, or would he just store it?
I think both. I think because he did have some sets
he put together,
but I think others he kept.
Now I feel like I want to do the Millennium Falcon.
I think he had the Millennium Falcon
from Star Wars.
I think he had that.
I need to do that one.
See, I don't really know a lot about Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's only what I've gleaned from boys in my life.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What do you want to know? No, I'll get to it. Well, actually.
Well, I don't want to know anything because I literally do not care about Star Wars at all.
Okay.
I don't want to watch it.
So you've absorbed a little bit.
I don't care.
See, that's why I knew you were the one, because like our second or third date, I wanted to go see the new Solo movie, and you went with me. And you acted like you enjoyed it. I think you did actually kind of enjoy the movie because Solo was a fun movie.
Well, I was like, okay, yeah,
but
that's all right.
But
I was upfront and honest.
Yeah.
I wasn't like trying to convince you I was a fan. I told you, like, I hate this shit.
Yeah, but I'll go with you.
I don't like sci-fi. I don't give a fuck, but I will go with you.
And you did.
Because I like you.
Oh, and we went and we watched the movie.
And yeah, it was tolerable.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they can be fun.
Well, that's one of the fun. That's a fun Star Wars movie.
Baby
in my
Yoda
opinion.
is a vibe.
Baby Yoda is the shit.
I love Baby Yoda.
Okay. So now you did watch almost most of the season of The Mandalorian
just because of the Baby Yoda.
Of Baby Yoda. And Baby Yoda took the world by storm.
He's so cool.
Oh, he has your mind powers.
He's really cool.
He's so cool. All right.
But yeah, I'm not a Star Wars person.
All right. So you're not overly concerned about the stolen. Now, I'm curious how they ended up with all those Legos. They must have had the inside line on them.
Well, just shoplifting them.
Jeez.
And then they were, I guess, luring potential buyers by placing ads on internet, like websites, trying to sell the Lego sets.
Yeah.
Which could prove to be quite profitable since, you know, some of these are worth up to $1,000.
Well, here's the thing. They have a pretty decent resale, even the normal sets. You know what I mean? You can usually get, near retail. And the fact that if they are truly shoplifting all these, it's all 100% profit. So you get undercut other collectors or resellers. So, yeah, there's potential to make a ton of money here reselling these stolen sets.
The investigation into this pair began after a retailer in San Pedro, California, reported a series of theft cases to officers back in December of 2023, and a loss prevention personnel identified Gudino as the suspect. So on June 4th, members of the LAPD observed Gudino steal items from the same retailer in Torrance and Lakewood before providing Siegel with the Lego toys at his residence in Long Beach. Siegel was charged with organized retail theft, and Gudino was arrested and charged with grand theft. So Gudino is currently being held on a $20,000 bail. Siegel has been released on his own recognizance. I can't talk today. And is scheduled to appear in court on the 26th of this month.
They don't let him go home.
This is just wild. So they're saying more than $100,000 in Lego products have been stolen from 6 bricks and minifig stores across Southern California.
Damn, dude, it sounds to me like you need to put the Lego sets behind glass.
The alleged thieves were described as 2 men who worked as a team to target the Lego resale stores between April and June. Wow, that's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. And this is the type of thing that hurts all consumers, in the long run. Because either, people go out of business or they start, not trusting their own customers. And then it's like in Walmart. At one point, we get a Rufus the little fresh foods, and they have a little refrigerator in the back. I'm sure people have seen it, and they start locking it up. So you have to
People were stealing the dog food?
They remember how much trouble we would go through trying to get him some of this fresh food out of this locked refrigerator?
That was flea medicine.
Well, no. Yes.
It was flea medicine.
Well,
it was not food.
Why are they stealing the flea medicine then? You know what I'm saying?
I've never seen the fridge locked.
What
you were
locked?
sorely mistaken.
It was the
and now
flea
you
medicine.
just lying. Now you just lying on the pod.
Now I'm gonna have people going around saying they stealing the fresh dog food when it's not true.
They out here saying, and it ain't even true, Dylan.
Well, when was they stealing the damn flea control? I mean, what drug dealer is swapping dope for flea control?
Look, we did have we had a conversation with the gentleman who worked there.
Yes.
Who was nice enough to unlock the case so we could get our itchy ass little dog some medicine. Right?
After like 30 minutes, it was not his fault. He couldn't find the key.
Yeah, it was a lengthy wait for the flea medicine. Anywho, that is another story for another time, Dylan. Nobody cares. But he did explain that was an item that a lot of people will steal and then resell on like Facebook and that kind of thing.
Or try to return, get a in-store credit. Because it's small, fits in your pocket, and they go for $30 to $50 a pop. I mean, I get it, I guess.
Get a fucking job, y'all.
I'm so sick of this shoplifting shit. You see it everywhere. I've seen it in person happen, and it's utterly ridiculous. And the climate they've created in some areas is just asking people to do it. It's just saying basically, if you want to do this, we're not going to do anything to stop you. And that makes the entire community worse off.
Well, and then the stores decide we're going to shut down.
Yeah.
And then the stores are accused of
abandoning
not caring about the community.
Right.
But who wants to be ripped off constantly?
Look.
And employees not allowed to do anything, not allowed to say anything about it.
I've seen employees actually secure the items themselves with chains, cables, glass, things like that, and they're directed by corporate to take all that off, so make sure they can steal it. It's so ridiculous.
All right, moving along, Dylan. Since we have been discussing some of the big crime cases that we've missed over the last couple of days, the FBI releases 475 pages of documents on OJ Simpson 2 months after his death.
Come on.
Now, this is days ahead of the 30th anniversary of the murders of his ex-wife and her friend. The FBI has made public these documents pertaining to OJ. The documents are largely concerned with the investigation of the June 12, 1994 murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman. Simpson was charged with the murders but was acquitted at trial. He was later found liable for the deaths in a civil suit brought by the families, and he died of prostate cancer in April. He was 76.
And I have to say, he was hounded by that civil suit the rest of his life.
Good.
He could never he always trying to hide assets, and I think that was one of the reasons he was out, with the whole memorabilia bullshit and got caught up in that because he's
ended up going to prison.
He's a murderer with a short temper, so he lost it with those guys and threatened, and that was some shit too, and it ended up getting him in jail. But at the end of the day, that civil trial hounded him till his death.
Good for the Goldmans.
And I'm so glad they brought it against him and won.
Ron Goldman's father has been so tenacious.
Yeah.
Over the years.
He will not let it go.
No, and good for him.
Yeah, he shouldn't. Because every day he has to think about his son,
who was brutally murdered in the most horrific way for no fucking reason.
Just because he happened to be there.
Well, these newly released documents still, and they focus on forensic evidence. Things like fiber samples and blood found at the crime scene, as well as some hair samples from Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson. A large portion of the documents focus on how authorities try to tie Simpson to the crime by connecting him to a size 12 Bruno Magli style shoe. If you remember the shoes.
I forgot about the shoes. Honestly, I always remember the gloves.
Oh, yeah. So Simpson denied ever wearing those specific shoes.
It was somebody else with a size 12.
In deposition tapes taken just before the civil trial, in which the former football player was found liable for the deaths, Simpson said he didn't like the look or the style of the shoes.
I would never wear those. They're hideous.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
He said, quote, "I know that Bruno Magli makes shoes that look like the shoes they had in court that's involved with this case. I would never have worn those ugly ass shoes," Simpson said. He ain't gonna wear no ugly ass shoes.
Nobody's even looking at your shoes with your big
Ain't nobody
dumb
trying
head.
to study your shoes, OJ, with your big dumb head. That's true.
Nobody in your big meat hands. What the fuck?
You knew a guy back in our old homestead, and they called him Meat Hooks.
Yeah.
And you said because the guy had big hands, right?
I think so. I never got a straightforward answer on that. I tried to deduce the origin story of that nickname myself.
People in Appalachia have the best nicknames.
But they had some great nicknames.
Meat Hooks.
Yeah. Reach out and grab you.
Yeah.
Hit you one of those lunch boxes.
I knew this guy, and they called him Banana Fingers.
Jimmy Banana Fingers.
Seriously, because I was just thinking about this the other day.
Big fat sausage fingers.
He had these kind of big hands, and I never noticed it, but then people were showing me like, no, look at his fucking hands. And they were showing me these pictures of him like on social media.
Yeah.
Where he'd be like hugging somebody and have his
big banana fingers.
hand, and his fingers, they did look like big bananas.
Because they kind of curved.
Kind of hanging over.
Big
like
meaty.
he'd have his arm around somebody and the banana hand would be hanging. And then I couldn't unsee it.
So it looked like a bunch of bananas on their shoulder?
It did.
Oh
it looked like 5 nanners just chilling, waiting to soak up some pudding.
Oh, Jimmy Nanner Hands.
Again, people have the best nicknames.
Oh my God, banana fingers. Would they say banana hands?
They call him banana hands.
That's a good one.
Banana hands.
Yeah. I have little tiny hands. They're Whopper Junior hands.
You have Whopper Junior hands.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to have a regular size Whopper. It doesn't fit.
The little Whopper fits perfectly in
The
your
little
tiny
Whopper
hands.
Junior fits perfectly.
But to have such tiny hands, they're really strong. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, I know. I have little hands and little feet.
It's true. You have tiny feet.
But, hey.
For a big man.
I have a tiny base that's holding up this mountain.
How do those tiny feet hold up your body?
I don't know. That's why they're so fucking strong. My feet are strong too. I could pinch the shit out of you with my toes. You want me to toe pinch you, you little bitch? Huh? Come here. Let me get some of that.
I
don't think
I'll fuck you up. Quit trying to pinch my toes across the room.
I don't think I can get my little toes on.
Moving along, okay?
Okay.
People have missed you, Dylan, but this is too much.
I'm backed up.
So police in Albuquerque, New Mexico arrested an 11-year-old boy on allegations that the child went on a violent month-long crime spree, including car burglaries and shootings.
Jeez. This kid's out of control. If it's true.
Yes. So the boy was arrested late Thursday, and police are saying that this armed individual's behavior was escalating and that he was a danger to the community, that they are now grateful they have this young suspect in custody. And despite his age, the suspect is considered very dangerous because of his use of a firearm and the escalating violence.
Yeah.
This is wild. 11 years old. Okay, I have so many questions. Like, where are the parents?
Okay, why is this kid so mad? How's he violent?
Does he sleep with a nightlight on while he's doing this shit?
Yeah, is he scared of the dark? Will he only do crimes during the daytime?
This boy has been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, conspiracy, shooting at a motor vehicle, shooting into an occupied dwelling, aggravated battery, unlawful possession of a weapon by a minor, non-residential burglary, criminal damage to property over $1,000, and conspiracy to commit a fourth-degree felony.
Jesus.
Police released a timeline of the alleged crimes with the 11-year-old. The crimes he's accused of participating in. Now, back on May 5th, police said that a car was stolen in the northeast part of the city and recovered an hour later. On May 12th, a woman reported that 4 children were, quote, throwing rocks at the residence and trying to break the windows of her home. The woman was struck in the leg. I'm assuming with one of the rocks.
Yeah, she done took one to the shins.
The same day, a 12-year-old called police to report a group of boys throwing rocks at her home. The caller was able to identify some of the boys in the group, and they were known in the area as the Kia Boys. KIA. Now, I don't know if that means because they like Kia cars or what.
So it's like a little gang.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a group of boys known to be up to no good.
It's like a roving gang of delinquents, juvenile delinquents.
Dude, that list of alleged crimes you read off is very violent, very scary. Like, if any adult had done all that stuff, you'd be like, oh my God, they're a menace. They're a full-on menace to society.
Dude, I gotta tell you, there's more. Albuquerque police said they responded to a commercial burglary where an individual was seen in a car driving in reverse, crashing into the front security door of a business. There was over $15,000 in theft and damages, and the car was later identified as a stolen vehicle. On May 29th, a man contacted 911 saying he had been shot at by 4 boys in a blue Kia after he saw the unknown car outside of his home. He asked the boys to leave, and they returned shortly after and shot at him.
Jesus.
They recovered a 9mm casing at this caller's home.
So the kid comes sliding in there sideways and slams a power wheel, one of those Power Wheels cars, into to the front of the business.
Just gravel goes flying.
Yeah. And it just doesn't even hurt.
Did you ever do that as a kid? Did you ever have a big wheel and you like ride it really fast and then turn?
Oh, yeah.
Like turn the wheel and then like sling gravel up?
Yeah.
Look, I had a cousin and I still don't like her. I'm just going to say she's a bitch. I have this bitchy cousin and I don't like her.
Damn, what's up, cuz?
She's a little heifer. So she was a little heifer when we were kids.
Did you throw gravel at her?
I might have done this with a big wheel once or twice.
You know, the modern big wheel has like this little emergency brake.
Well, she was just like, she was a little shit and really conniving and was always doing shit.
Okay.
But then if you retaliated against her, like...
she played the victim. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. And she was a little brat.
She's a narcissist in training, if that was her move.
You know what? She was a heifer then, and she's a little heifer now.
Oh,
so wow. I don't fuck with you.
I don't give a
fuck. But I may or may
you.
not have spun my big wheel gravel up in her dusty face.
She got a little bit, huh? You was like, eat my shorts, flipped her off and drove away.
Now, a few days later on June 1st, police were contacted about a shooting with reports of a man who had been shot in the hand and a 9mm handgun recovered at the scene. It's crazy to think that all of this was allegedly committed by a juvenile who's 11 years old.
I gotta say, it's one of the...
Kids are dangerous.
This is one of the youngest offenders I've heard of in a while.
They can be scary.
And if you saw this kid and he's walking around like, he got a chip on his shoulder, you'd be like, man, what the fuck's this kid gonna do? The next thing you know, he pulls out a 9 and opens up on your ass. I mean, that's freaking scary because kids their brains aren't formed. They got a lot of learning and growing up to do, literally. And it's very scary to me to think of one being that ultra violent. Because they kind of don't have any impulse control anyway. Because that's where kids do dumb shit. Because their frontal lobe is not developed fully, and just one just willing to be this violent, it's freaking terrifying.
Well, if the child is willing to do this at 11 years old, what's he going to be like in 10 years?
Exactly. I would kick his ass. If he didn't have to shoot me first.
As a little kid, you would still fight a little kid?
Well, I'd have to. This kid needs to be treated like an adult. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah, I just want to know, what are the parents doing?
What happened to him? What made him like this?
Why are parents allowing this kid to be out in the streets and run around with a damn gun and stealing car and he's 11?
What if they didn't train him like this? Like he's one of, like they're in Sparta. The warriors trained them to be warriors from kid. They trained them to be a criminal from a kid.
Maybe they did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen some crazy ass people since people love to put their lives on social media. I've seen so many crazy people out there that I'm like, y'all don't deserve to have kids. Y'all don't need kids.
Dude.
Some of y'all are fucked up with the shit you doing with your kids.
Well, dude, the little kids that be wanting to have like the thug birthday parties and stuff where they got, money to throw at bitches and like fake guns and stuff. That's weird. I
think it's really weird when you have a birthday party and you have grown adult women twerking in front of children.
It's disgusting is what that is.
Yeah.
That would not be okay. I would not be okay with that ever.
Not okay.
It's not okay. That's a sexually explicit move that should not be done around children, period.
Or some trashy bimbo like flashing her titties and there's kids around.
Yeah.
Like I did see it was a few years ago.
Gosh.
People were like ragging on this woman. I think she was on TikTok. And I don't know what ended up happening to her, but it was kind of one of those things that for a hot second went viral and people were like, we need to get this woman fired from her job and shit like that.
Yeah.
But she was like in an above ground pool. And I want to say she was from like Georgia or Alabama or something. So I'm like, you doing the South dirty, lady.
You're making us look bad.
But she's like partying and drinking and shit. But there's kids around and she's all like flashing her boobies to everybody. And these like kids are all standing around like watching her.
So gross.
And I'm like, wow, keeping it classy, lady.
It's so disgusting.
It is so disgusting. I was going to say, keep that stuff for adult spaces. But there don't seem to be a lot of adult-only spaces anymore, so I guess that's not a thing.
There's hardly any.
Can't even go to the bar.
You can't even go, well, some bars.
Well, not all of them.
Yeah, you have to go to like a beer joint where they still smoke. You know what I found?
I want to go to a honky-tonk.
Can I say, down here in the upstate, they have a lot of places where people still smoke inside, and it's really like it's kind of a throwback. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you go on Moose Lodge.
No, I did not see any kids in that place.
If you go to Moose Lodge, a VFW, American Legion, those typically still got a bunch of old timers in there, and they're smoking cigarettes like 40 going north. They're not slowing down a bit. Nice cheap drinks usually, and usually good salt of the earth people who are friendly, welcome you in.
Dude, those types of places are my jam.
But I have to say, it's really gross to smoke inside. And I can't believe that I ever did it to any degree.
Look, I don't even care. I'm too busy crying into my beer, listening to Keith Whitley.
Okay.
Drinking my like $2.50 beer, my $2.50 beer.
Yeah.
Those places are the tits.
Those places are the tits. And they got like $5 liquor drinks.
Okay, let's move along, Dylan. There's a woman who is claiming that she is a missing 8-year-old from Pennsylvania.
Oh, when did this story broke recently?
Yes. So
Okay.
an 8-year-old girl from Pennsylvania has been missing since 1985. Her name is Sherry Mahon. And this lady has come forward saying that she is this missing child. However, forensic fingerprint analysis showed that the woman claiming to be Mahon, who was last seen on February 22nd of 1985, did not match the ones of the missing child.
Okay, well, I guess that's the end of that story.
So this little girl disappeared after getting off the school bus about 100 yards from her home in Cabot, which is 30 miles northeast of Pittsburgh. And last month, the woman claimed to be the missing girl in a Facebook group dedicated to the little girl. Janice McKinney, Sherry's mother, posted in the Facebook group that she contacted Pennsylvania State Police and that she believed the post was fraudulent. Now, I don't know this woman's motivations, if she truly thought she was this child.
Right.
But it seems if this was just an intentional joke or something, it's so fucking cruel.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. It's very cruel to even for a split second give the family false hope that their poor missing little girl's been found. So that's definitely cruel. Now, if the motivation is she truly was told or believes for whatever reason that she is indeed that girl, then that's just an unfortunate, sad situation that is going to hurt everyone involved.
Well, what's even more tragic in this is the McKinney says this is not the first woman who has come forward over the years claiming to be her daughter. She's actually had 3 others do the same thing.
Oh my gosh.
She said, people are mean, they're cruel, but this affects me really crazy. That's what she told the Butler Eagle, a newspaper. She said the woman did not look anything like her daughter.
Yeah.
And she still holds hope out that one day she'll know what happened to her daughter, and told the newspaper that she hopes all the detectives who ever worked on the case will sit down together and go over everything because somebody somewhere knows something or missed something.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's true for these cold cases. They just go back through the files and they find that little scrap of information, that thread to pull on.
McKinney continued saying, quote, "It just beats you down every single day, and for the past 39 years, this has been the hardest part of my life."
That's so sad.
To hear this mother talk about and to say, quote, "This sucks the life out of you," to have a missing child. And then you have these jerks who want to come forward and claim, "I'm your daughter."
For any
knowing
reason.
good and damn well they're not.
Yeah. It's really a terrible thing to do.
No, there was a girl. I say girl. She was anybody who's under like 25 is a girl to me because I'm old. But there was a young woman. I think she was maybe a late teenager, like 18, 19, who would come forward thinking she was Madeline McCann, the little missing girl from England.
Right.
About a year ago. And I'm pretty sure DNA excluded her. But you just wonder, like, are these people troubled? Are they kind of unwell? Or do they really just want to, like, put themselves out in the spotlight? Or are they doing it as a cruel joke?
I guess it could be any of that.
Makes no sense.
Makes no sense. And it's really mean.
It's really mean.
It's so mean-spirited if you are just in trying to, put yourself into the situation. Or some things that people want to call a joke or a hoax are not in the least bit funny.
It ain't funny.
It's not funny. And it's never going to be funny.
No, it's not.
So there's nothing joking about it.
They just have no empathy or compassion, because you have to imagine, like, put yourself in this mother's shoes, in this family's shoes. And how would you feel if someone was doing that to you?
I'm sure that's something you probably think about every day, that my daughter or my son's missing. Where are they? What happened to them?
Well, I have a missing loved one in my life.
Yeah.
And I think about her every day.
It's true.
There's not a day goes by that I don't think about her and wonder where she is.
I wonder if she's okay or what's happened to her.
Or just want to have an answer.
Want to know what happened.
You need that closure, right? Really sad stuff, Dylan. I think we've depressed everybody enough. But you know what's not depressing, Dylan?
What?
Your shining face.
Oh,
Look
thanks.
how smiley it is.
Thanks. I feel great. We're here in this new studio space. We're in our comfy chairs. God, it's been a while.
It's been a bit.
My ass is so happy right now.
Your ass is pretty happy. Exactly.
Yes.
We have a new merch store. We need to talk about our merch store. I'm going to add a link to today's show notes. You got to go check out some of our merch.
Now, I got to say, this is not shameless peddling of ourselves, though it is to a degree, but Heather has really knocked it out of the park. She has this wonderful online store she's working with. They're very user-friendly. She's finally found her home.
You get your merch within just a couple of days.
And they
ship so fast.
So many options. And Heather has worked diligently to keep the prices reasonable, nice and low. So, you don't have to splurge and get just that one piece. You might get 2 or 3 pieces.
Oh, we've got stickers, mugs.
And people love it.
T-shirts, tanks.
It's getting such great feedback.
Groovy bike shorts.
The bike shorts.
Our friend Magic, she's a skater and she's a badass. She ordered the bike shorts. She can't wait to go skating in these shorts.
Now, Magic, I wanted to order the first pair of bike shorts.
Oh, yeah?
But I hope they probably look better on you than they do me.
She said, Dylan, the merch drop was crisp.
But I got to say, Heather has so many different options.
We got different styles. We've got logos. We've got Dylan sitting and looking design.
We have your Stay Trashy design.
We do. We have our Feral AF shirts with a possum.
Yes. I got to get, there's so many I'm going to get for myself. I cannot wait. And if you go on there, I almost guarantee you there's going to be something that you just got to have.
There's kind of like a something for everybody.
Yes, definitely.
Right?
Good job, Heather.
Thank you, Dylan. So check that out. Again, I will drop the link in today's show notes. We have an excellent case ready for you. It's going to melt your mind.
Oh my gosh, I know just a little bit about this case, and it is a wild ride. It is a very strange story.
Yeah, we've not really discussed anything like this one before, so cannot wait to get that episode out for our listeners. Thanks for your patience.
Yes, thank you. And our intent is to become the most consistent we ever been and just keep turning it out.
And turning it up, Dylan. Woo!
Turn it up for what?
Or turn down for what?
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
All righty.
You're awesome.
Till next time.
Bye, Dylan.
Bye.